Alright, Shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to
Yahweh,
Ba'ashem,
Yahweh
Shai,
Ba'ashem,
Ba'ashem,
Ruach
Hakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well. Peace and blessings to the elect out there that's pushing this word in all truth and sincerity in whatever way possible. We're the GMS Memphis camp. The brother Zab and
Brother Karab.
And the brother Karab, he had this little lesson, and I'm gonna let him take over a little bit.
The lesson I want to get into today is Job. And Job, man, he was a man of the Lord. He was a chosen. The elect. He was going through his fiery trials and his temptations. And he was going through these things to make sure that he was approved. It was a test that was given by Yahweh Ba'ashem Shai to try Job. So we're gonna go ahead and get into the book. This is Job, the first chapter, chapter 1. There was a man in the land of Uz whose name was Job, and that man was perfect and upright, and one that feared Yahweh and eschewed evil. So Job kind of, he didn't mess with the wickedness that was in the world. Job looked at that as an abomination. It was disgusting unto Job. Job always loved righteousness, man. Which lead, we bounce to this script right quick. Because in order to push away the evil, you had to fear. You had to fear Yahweh Ba'ashem Shai. This is Sirach chapter 2, verse 16. They that fear the Lord will seek that which is well pleasing unto him, and they that love him shall be filled with the law. So he was filled, and law represents ordinance. So he was filled with order, So he was a beautiful, losing my man.
He was an upright man.
Yeah.
He
upright man.
Yeah, you can jump up to verse 1 in that Sirach 2, Ecclesiasticus 2 and 1. Or I got it. This is Sirach chapter 2, verse 1. It says, "My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation."
That's right.
It says, "Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in the time of trouble." And we're talking about Job, and how basically the men of the Lord should be in the same mindset as Job, because Job suffered much calamities, but Job, at the end of it, he still praised Yahweh Ba'ashem Shai, so we should be in the same mindset.
It says, "And his substance also was 7,000 sheep, and 3,000 camels, and 500 yoke of oxen, and 500 she asses, and a very great household, so that this man was the greatest of all, the man of the East."
Yeah, so he was like, that dude that owned, most of the, he said he was the man of the East, so he was like...
That's ancient farming. That let you know that Jake was farming back then. Like, Esau, he took that, farming and cattle and all that, but, man, Jake been doing it, man,
Yeah, ranching, it said he had a great household. He probably had, like, a fat house on his ranch, It was, like, hundreds of livestock. So that, that's very valuable, resourceful, too.
And his sons went and feasted in their houses, everyone his day, and sent and called for their 3 sisters to eat and to drink with them. And it was so, when the days of their feasting were done about, that Job sent and sanctified them, and rose up early in the morning, and offered burnt offerings according to the number of them all. For Job said, "It may be that my sons have sinned and cursed Yahweh in their hearts." Thus did Job continually.
Yeah, so he was like, just in case, my family went off, I'm still going to sacrifice for the Lord. And he did that continually. He sacrificed, his livestock for the Most High. Most likely his best of his livestock.
Going back to Sirach 2, in 16, you know, they that fear him will be filled with the law.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a lawful thing that he did, you know, the sacrifices, you know.
Yeah, and when you read into Leviticus and go into the sacrifice, the laws of the sacrifice, hey, you had to put in work.
Yeah.
You know, you had to drain the blood out. You had to put water through all of it to drain the blood out. Make sure you separated all the fat and the blood from the meat. You know, you cooked that meat well done. You know, there's a lot of work that went into those sacrifices too.
Yeah.
And you know, he was sacrificing his best livestock. You know, giving it to the Most High.
Yeah, just like the brother that's out here teaching. You know, we sacrificed a lot. You know, we walked away from so-called friends, family, you know, all these things, man, to serve you. How about Shema Shah? So we in the same, like the brother was going into, we should have the same mindset as Job, you know, because guess what? This reward coming after all these things, you know, after the suffering. It says for verse 6, now there was a day when the sons of Yahweh came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan also among them. Then you know that the Lord owns Satan, and he used him to try the elect of the nation of Israel. You 2/3, y'all already gone. You know, y'all trusting oppression, y'all trusting in society, but the elect, man, they going through the trials and tribulations like Job, man, and they are being tried by Satan, who was sent by Yahweh Shema Shah.
This can get into it.
God. And the Lord said unto Satan, whence comest thou? Then Satan answered the Lord and said, from going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. And the Lord said unto Satan, hast thou considered my servant Job?
Yeah, so the Most High was like, hey, it's like, yeah, I see you, you know, walking to and fro, but have you considered, you know, going against Job, like trying to mess with his head?
Yeah.
Keep reading.
That there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and a upright man, one that feareth Yahweh and is sure of evil.
So he's like, this is my special servant. This is one of my favorites. He's upright. There's no one else like him. Keep going.
Then Satan answered, thy Lord said, doeth Job fear Yahweh for naught?
Yeah, so he's like, I mean, yeah, no duh, because, keep reading.
Has not thou made an hedge about him and about his house and about all that he hath on every side? Thou hast blessed the work of his hands, and his substance is increased in the land.
Yeah, so he's, Satan's like, yeah, of course he's gonna, fear you because he's got this hedge around him, you know? You know, his life is good. Of course he's gonna praise you. Keep going.
And put forth thy hand now and touch all that he hath, and he will curse thee to thy face.
Yeah, so he's like, I bet if you take away all of his goodies, you know, he's gonna curse you. And then, but you know that wasn't the case. And notice how Satan said, "Put forth thy hand." You know, he's saying because Satan doesn't have that power because he said that there's a hedge around him. Satan doesn't have the power that over the Most High to just start taking down that hedge. No, the Most High put that hedge around where Satan couldn't do it.
And the similarity to the word hedge ain't nothing but a protection, a force field.
Yeah, it's like a force field.
Yeah. And going into it, it says 12. It said, the Lord said unto Satan, behold, all that he have is in thy power.
Yeah, so he's like, all right, I'll give it. Everything that he has is in your hands now.
Cause only upon himself put forth thy hand. So Satan went forth from the presence of the Lord. And there was a day when his sons and daughters were eating and drinking wine in their eldest brother's house. And there came a messenger unto Job and said, the oxen were plowing, and the asses feeding beside them. And the Sabines fell upon them and took them away. Yea, they have slain the servants with the edge of the sword, and I only am escaped only to tell thee.
It's like
quick.
Yeah, the quick hit, big hit too.
It said while he was yet speaking, Why? His mind was like,
yeah, while he was like
he was
telling
like,
him
shit,
of
that
this.
happened. You can hear Jay right now. That happened, man. I don't even. Then somebody else coming. You hear footsteps. You like, oh man. Then you go into it. It says, while he was yet speaking, there came also another and said, the fire of Yahweh was fallen from heaven and had burnt up the sheep and the servants and consumed them. And I only am escaped alone to tell thee.
That's rough, man. You know, saying, hey, you just lost servants and livestock. And then right when you hear that, another person is coming up. I'm the only one that escaped this calamity. Like, it keeps going, bro.
Keep going. And then, just to talk about, today, the brothers, and they going through their fiery trial. You might lose keys, woman, cars, anything, man. The Lord can try you in so many different ways. That's why go ahead and get this scripture in Peter's. Think it not strange concerning the fiery trial. Because them things are strange. Like you will lose money and stuff. It wouldn't be strange, but just like you losing, say for instance, you don't lose your car keys, but you lose your string that was on your car key.
Yeah.
And then, or you don't lose your whole phone, but you lose a memory card of your phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's strange. You like, how that, how did it happen?
This is 1 Peter 4:12. It says, Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial, which is to try you, as though some strange thing happened unto you. But rejoice inasmuch as ye are partakers of Yahushua's sufferings. So, like, if you're going through something, be like, don't be like, oh, I'm going through some hell. Like, it's like how, like all this, being in that, what is it? Attention seeking because you're going through some shit. Hey man, just gird up thy loins, like the Most High told Job, gird up thy loins. It says, but rejoice in as much as ye are partakers of Yahushua's suffering. And that's a manly spirit.
Yeah.
When you're going through adversity and you just, fuck it, let's go through it. Best way to get through something is straight through it. Man.
That's right.
No way around it.
Yeah, the Lord said, man, they're serving that enter into that straight gate. You get blessings upon it, not when they go behind the back to the window, to the other back door. Hell no.
It says, when his glory shall be revealed, ye may be glad also with exceeding joy. Because Yahushua went through it and he's got his glory. So if we're partakers in his suffering, then we're going to be partakers in his glory.
That's right.
We suffer for the name right now, so that when Yahushua's name is glorified, we get to be, hey, we stood for that, man. We got to, preach about this. We got to stand, we got to ride it and die for him, literally. Through thick and thin.
Yeah, and that's the goal. That's the goal, man. That's the reward, man. To stand stiffly for the name and be rewarded for standing stiffly and fearing Yahweh Shemawashai and doing his work, man.
Just like Job. Job is such a good book because he stayed faithful through all the calamities. Could you imagine Job was just a book about him being rich and how he was faithful? Like that wouldn't be much of a of a story, man. But like Satan said, he's like, yeah, like he serves you because he's got that hedge around him.
That's right.
He's like, but let's see what happens when we start, taking some of those goodies away. See if he's gonna be faithful. Yeah. And he was, man.
He said, while he was yet speaking, there came also another and said, the Chaldeans made out 3 bands and fell upon the camels, and have carried them away, yea, and slain the servants with the edge of the sword, and I only am escaped alone to tell thee. And while he was yet speaking, there came also another, said, thy sons and thy daughters were eating and drinking wine in their eldest brothers' houses. And behold, there came a great wind from the wilderness and smote the 4 corners of the house, and it fell upon them, the young men, and they were dead. And I only am escaped alone to tell thee. Yes, that's how our power roll. Yeah, that's how Yahweh Shemawashai roll, man. Like when that time come, like during Jacob's trouble and these things where the real test comes, man, he gonna try you so hard, man.
Mhm.
He gonna really try you, brother. Get that 1 Corinthians 10 and 13. But he also showed mercy too, you know. Yeah, he might try you. He might, your mama might die, your brother might die. But all these are because of Yahweh Shema Shah, man. And I ain't saying that in a bad term. I'm saying that in a beautiful term, because it's an honor to do this, man. You know?
This is 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13. There hath no temptation taken you, but such as is common to men. But the Most High is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it. So as long as you just have faith in Yahweh, hey, I got a perfect precept for that.
Go ahead, B.
This is
Get that thing.
This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 2, verse 10. Look at the generations of old, and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? You know? If you're giving your 100%, all in the name of Yahweh Shem El Shai, we know that the Most High is righteous. He's not just gonna be like, quit calling on my name. Like, the scriptures say, like, to beg, like, pray continually.
Man, pray without ceasing.
Pray without cease, And
he
to
loves
pray.
That, man.
Yeah.
He got angels that set up to just say his name, man.
Yeah, to pray means to beg.
Yeah.
Just like the scriptures refer to Israel as Yahushai's woman. If you got a woman, you kind of want her to like beg you for stuff.
Yeah.
Because like you're the main provider. If she needs something, she should ask.
Yeah, man. Them sufferings. So
yeah, because
suffering. You gonna hit that thing now.
Okay, because like a man loves to play that hero role.
Man.
Like he loves taking care of the woman and the damsel in distress.
Yeah.
When a woman is like, oh, I need help. It's like, man, I'm coming in there and saving her ass.
And that's how the Lord look at Israel.
Yeah, kind of.
That's how he look at Israel, man. He loves Yahshua. He loves them Latino, Native American, Indians, Jamaicans, etc. We're a 12 tribes family, man. He love y'all, man. But he only chose elect 12,000 out of each tribe that's gonna be the judges over the earth, man.
I'm gonna read verse 11. It says, "For the Lord is full of compassion and mercy, long-suffering, and very pitiful, and forgiveth sins, and saveth in time of affliction." So if you're going through something, hey, Yahweh's name is He delivers. Just remember that. He's the deliverer. So if you're in a particular situation that you need delivered from, hey, call upon Him. Say, I need help. Yahweh Shem Yahushai, Babu Shah, Hawashaya, Mayan, Rai, which means deliver me from evil.
That's right. He said, and then Job, they said, behold, there came a great wind from the wilderness and smote the four corners of the house, and it fell upon the young men, and they were dead. And I only am escaped alone to tell thee. Then Job arose and rent his mantle and shaved his head and fell down upon the ground and worshipped. He knew what was up.
Yeah, because a tornado hit one of his children's house. Fire came down from heaven, and then some heathens came and slew and took his livestock. And servants. So yeah, like all in less than a minute, man. So yeah, and when it says he shaved his head, that was a custom back then. Like if you're going through hell, that Jake would shave their heads. It's like a sign of mourning. He wasn't really going off. Like the law does say, don't basically don't shave your head. But but sometimes they cover their head or shave their head.
To show the mourning and lamenting. It said, naked came out of my mother's womb, and naked shall I return thither. So he didn't, excuse my French, but he didn't give a damn about none of them livestock, animals, children, nothing, family, nothing. It was just him and Yahweh Shema Shah.
Man, that's a crazy knee-jerk reaction. You know, just saying, hey, I came into this world with nothing. I'm gonna go out of this world with nothing.
God.
You know, so anything that I possess, during this lifetime, really ain't shit.
God. And it says, naked shall I return thither, and the Lord gave, and the Lord have taken away.
So
Blessed, God.
Keep going, Saki.
Blessed be the name of the Lord. And in all this, Job sinned not, nor change Yahweh foolish. Charge Yahweh foolishly. And then you're going to charge, it means, attributed folly to Yahweh.
Yeah, so he didn't curse to the Most High.
Like, man, why you did this to me?
Yeah, why, God? Like,
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
And then, the Lord, he didn't do that, man. He knew what's up. It's to try you. It's to make an assurance that you are the Lord's servant. Like, the Lord want to make sure that, okay, if you going to serve me, I want to make sure that you can take the fire for my name's sake. Which leads me to the last ending scripture.
I got a quick one.
Yeah, go ahead, hit it out.
This Sirach chapter 2, we've been quoting it a lot. This is a good scripture or a good chapter to read. But this is verse 5. It says, "For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity." So just like, hey, if you got some gold, you don't want any dirt on it, so you put it through the fire. Same thing with a man. You don't want any blemishes in a man's spirit. So you put him through adversity and see what he's really capable of, Because it'd be one thing, if to see like a Major League Baseball player, taking, big daddy hacks during the home run derby because the pitcher's, lobbing pitches in there. And he's, hitting 500 feet, home runs and whatnot. But if you put a pitcher out there that's trying to strike him out, you're going to really see if he's got, what it takes. Same thing with, brothers in this truth. Yeah, it's easy to call upon the name when everything's, going good. Yeah. But, wait till Jacob's trouble and see if you're going to take that chip or if you're going to call upon the name and have trust in the Lord.
That's right. Come on, brother. That was beautiful, man. This is 1 Peter chapter 3, verse, I'm gonna start, let me just get to the point. It's, 14. I'm gonna start at 13. And who is he that will harm you if ye be followers of that which is good? It's talking about Yahweh Shema Shah, praying, teaching in the name, reading in the name, doing all these things to please Yahweh Shema Shah. Verse 14, but if ye suffer for righteousness' sake, which is the theme of the lesson, which is, suffering, in its truth, happy are ye, and be not afraid of their terror, neither be troubled. Don't be troubled about these things, these strange things that the Lord putting you in. It's to build you up. It's a testimony, to make you honorable, so he can honor you and make you an honorable servant, man. Like this servant right there, he worshiped me 100% fully. He did everything I asked. Oh, good and faithful servant. You know what I'm saying? But you don't want the Lord to be like, you did all these things. You knew I was an austere man, like the scriptures say, but you ain't try to apply them or nothing. Now you got to go into the fire, weeping, gnashing the teeth. Now you taking the chip. Now you just doing all these things, man, because of your disobedience.
Yeah, you rather suffer for righteousness' sake than for, evil doing.
That's right. That's
plain and simple like that.
That's a man thing.
Is it, either Esau's gonna kill you for righteousness' sake, or the Most High is gonna kill you for evil doing, man. So why not suffer for righteousness' sake? Go through that adversity. It makes you an honorable man, an upright man. But you wanna close this out?
Alright, with that, Gonna give our praises to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushai, Ba'Shem, Kakwadash, Barakatah. Double honors to those and the apostles once again. Brothers pushing the word throughout the four corners. And peace and blessing to the elect out there, man. Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom.